Hey there, synthwave peeps. So today we're going to take a look at some of the Get That sounds that have been requested in the forums. And the first one I'm going to look at is this one. And I've narrowed it down to basically the easiest one to listen to is the start of Night Skies. It's kind of like a vocally stab sound. So we're going to try and recreate that. Obviously we're going to be using Anna 2. And the first thing I want to try and get is the chord. So we're going to be using Anna 2's CMD, the chord memory device. And the first thing you'll notice is it's quite dark, so that would suggest it's a sort of minor. So we'll put that in first. And then there's a suspensey sort of quality to it, so we can put in the fourth. And then it's got a dreamy quality, so we can put in the seventh as well. And all that together sort of gives us that vibe of that chord. You could add a bass note, and you could even add a ninth as well, if you wanted it really sort of dreamy. And we'll stick with that for now. And then what we really have to think about is the tonal quality of the sound. So it's got a very vocally sort of like a choir A sort of sound. So we'll see what we can do in Anna. We've got these sounds here. That's kind of the closest one. We also want to just beef that up, so we'll just put some saw waves in there. So that's given us our pad, but the sound was almost like a stab sound, so we can add that. And then the last thing we need to do is just add a ton of reverb. So we'll turn our plate up all the way. We want quite a long decay, and we want quite a large size just to give super big vibes. And then you can add a filter in. You just want to darken it down. And the cool thing about this as well, if you actually record it and reverse it, you'll get some really nice sort of sweeps and stuff that you could use in your tracks. So let me create an audio track. And I'm going to use the output of the synth to record from. Go up an octave. Get our locator at the start. Make sure it's long enough to capture the whole thing. That'll do nicely. And then just hit record and record arm and play. Just stop it before it comes round again. And there we've got our recorded thing. So you can either use that in a sampler and just have that sitting in your library, or you can go in and reverse this. Now you've got a really cool sweep as well. So there you go, that's the first one. That is sort of a vocally stab sound, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hey there, synthwavers. This next Get That sound we're going to do is this one. So the Midnight Lost Boy, it's a siren type of sound. It's kind of a lead, but with just some portmanteau on it. You can hear it just around here. Okay, so that's the sound we're going to do. I have programmed some stuff in already. I've got just a similar track to what's going on. And I've got a part to put in. Oh, hold on, let me just go back to the start with this. So we're going to recreate that sound. Let's see if we can get it pretty close. The first thing I'll do is add a filter on. We want it to be slightly darker. And then the next sort of real big thing is using Portmanteau. So I'm going to put this up to about 130 odd. And if you look into the MIDI part, with Portmanteau on and slide off, only overlapping notes will actually slide. So what we've done is this first note has the sort of most dramatic slide up. And what we're using is a low note just right at the start, so it initially triggers that low to high slide. The other thing we want to make sure we have turned on is mono, so it's only playing a single note at a time. And you can increase this Portmanteau if you want the slide to be slower and a bit more dramatic. The next big thing is the effects. So the way we're going to set these effects up, instead of using our returns the way we normally do, we're going to actually put it on inserts, because the thing we want to do is we want to add a nice big phaser on at the end, and this will give it a really dreamy, swirly sound to it. So the first thing we will add is some delay. So you can either go 2 or 3 depending on what you think sounds better. I'm going to put some high pass and some low pass in that. That's maybe a bit much. And then we can add some reverb in there. These are plate reverb. The plate reverb in Anna is the most lush. You want to make sure decay is up a bit. You want to add a tiny bit of mod. That just helps to get rid of some of that ringing sound you sometimes get. Good bit of size. Again, we use some high pass to just take out some of the mud. And then to add that sort of dreamy washiness, we can add a phaser on afterwards. And we'll turn the rate down so it's not so warbly, it's just sort of flowing nicely. And again, we can adjust our dry wet to taste. So if you only want a bit of that vibe in, you can have the dry wet low. Maybe add a bit more delay, a bit less reverb maybe. You could even go for a ping pong delay as well, just to get a bit more left to right action going on. You could try some different waveforms. In the basic waves collection, there is this nice sort of shape here, which goes between a saw and a sort of a thin saw and a triangle. You can turn the cutoff up a bit. And if you want to get the level up a bit, just because we're going straight into the reverbs, you can put a compressor on and just use the gain on the makeup gain. And again, if you wanted to create a slightly bigger sound, you could turn a couple of voices on. And there you go, that's pretty close, I think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.
Thanks everyone for watching. We really appreciate the support from you guys. If you liked this video, then smash that like button. And if you want to be notified about new content, hit the subscribe and the bell notifications. Peace!